My name is Terry Lynch. I'm with Oregon Ecology. I found myself searching for a passageway one day. And that passageway leads right across the complete section of the Cascades, which I'm sitting in front of at the moment. On top of one peak. I want to make sure that everybody sees the type of things that we find in the process of research for ecology. I have located a couple that's sitting here on the top of Blind Peak. She's facing south. He's facing north.
The Middle, Cascadia Guides, a Let's production, in conjunction with Alien Strand Films.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. So, man, I just got back from an amazing trip. We went to go shoot the movie, The Middle Part 2, CE3. So, you know, it was, I wanted to talk, we just got back like maybe 3 hours ago. So, and I'm going to bring in Mr. Terry Lynch here in shortly. So that way we can have a conversation with you. You know, you guys can respond here on the comments. I'll be able to watch your comments come through. And then, you know, we'll talk to you a little bit about, you know, what, you know, you want to ask me some questions about the trip. More than welcome to talk about it, but there's a lot of things I want to show you today too. So, don't forget that the whole reason that we did the Middle Part 2 was because, you know, we did the first movie last year, which is called The Middle, the first one with Mr. Terry Lynch and a whole bunch of folks in this one, you know, Ken Wells Jr., you know, so many people were in this one. And, you know, it turned out so well that so many people just really enjoyed it, and they love watching this over and over and over. So you can catch it still on Amazon Prime. It's free on Tubi TV as well. So you can check it out there. Also, you know, we're on, and not 13, actually we are on 17 platforms. We just landed another one. So it's doing really well. I need to change that. But, you know, it's just one of those things that it was just a great thing to do, man, to make this film. And I got so excited about it that I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just I have to make part 2, because remember, if you haven't watched part 1, you have to watch part 1. But I'm going to kind of break the ice here. You know, we kind of left you hanging a little bit at the very end of that, at part 1. So, you know, but without further ado, I just want to bring in Mr. Terry Lynch, because, you know, he's a big part of this, this whole endeavor that's happening with these movies and these documentaries. Actually, they're movies, but they're documentaries, but they're films, because it costs about as much. You know, the production is just as much, and everything costs a bunch of money, you know, to make. But, you know, we couldn't have done it without him, without the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in now. There he is.
Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good, my brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Hello to everybody out in Australia and all the other places in England, and we got all kinds of friends all around the world that just can't wait for this next movie to be coming out. You've been on kind of a mission there, Mister.
Yeah, I have. A lot of people are just telling me, God, you must be, Anibal was on our group and he said, dude, he goes, you must be made out of steel or something because you just go. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, brother, but something is telling me, you have to do this. You have to do this.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the first one just real quick. Just get people a recap.
You got it.
When we first made the first one, this was about a find that you found up there in Oregon on the top of Paulina Peak. And
yes, sir. The Cascadia Guides.
That's right. And we did this last year, I believe, and about the same time that it is now. And we threw it out there because it was a lot of work putting it together and getting involved and doing everything that we could because it was a new discovery that you found up there, and I'm glad we did that. Can you give people just a quick recap on the middle, the first one that's out now on Amazon Prime?
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of things have happened since as well. But what had happened was I found something on satellite imagery, and it was up at the top of Paulina Peak. Went up there, took a look to see it for myself, and it turned out it was a very large back-to-back. They were like elongated skull aliens sitting back-to-back. Anyway, we went up there with you and your team, and me and my team, we went up and we took measurements. We found something that was just completely amazing up there. And luckily, when we were up there, we'd run across this extra piece that was to the side. And it was a big spear that was off the side. And that gave me the conclusion that this thing would have something further off to the other side of it. Right. And it was a large trident, almost the exact same size as the main feature. So it's actually a very large trident that's off to the side. Well, since then I kind of did a little bit of my own, how I am. I like to do things, and I started doing a little geometry with it, and I put my triangle to the way this thing fits, and then I blew that triangle up, and guess what? It went all the way to Mount Shasta, all the way to Mount Adams, and stopped right at Paulina Peak when I blew that triangle up to the exact size of into the same shape and everything. It was a perfect matchup. So now we've got that type of triangulation. It's a really good, solid thing to go with. Right. The other parts of this is I've got U.S. forestry. Archaeologists are now up there looking the site over, as well as University of Oregon archaeologists. They're looking the site over. And the site, basically what's going on is this is a cause from mass wasting. I think I touched on that a little bit in the film.
Yeah, you did.
If you want to see the film, which I encourage anybody that wants to learn anything about what's going on here with ufology, as well as how it ties with ancient cultures. And anyway, this is a good way to try and start tying things together for you. And when we did all of this, we made sure that we took our time to kind of research the area and see that this is not, nobody has ever posted or written a book or anything about this location. This took time for it to uncover. There was an eruption about 6,000 years ago up on top of, it's called the Newberry volcano, because of a geologist named Dr. Newberry, who came through punching the train through. So they named it after him. And they named it Paulina Peak because of Chief Paulina, because that was also his stronghold up at the top of Paulina Peak, where you have the two lakes nobody could kind of come in from around the backsides on them. So
Right.
the area has been kind of tied off from people for lots and lots and lots of years, and in a geological sense, the amount of time people have been allowed to be up there, it's been like a blink of an eye.
Okay. Well, let's just say, please go watch this movie because
Oh man,
yeah,
this is going to be so worth your time. It's free. I mean, it's free. Watch
it's free. Yeah, it's free on Tubi TV if you want
Yeah.
commercials. And if you don't want commercials, we'll go to Amazon Prime. It's real cheap. It's only like $2.99. It's still we kept it at a low price. It was one of our first films, so that's it right there. You can find it on Amazon Prime, and you have to search The Middle Cascadia Guides. All right. So today, Terry and I wanted to talk about my trip because I just
That's right.
returned. I just returned back. I think I was gone for like 9 days. I'm one day early than the others, only because two of our people that were supposed to be interviewed, something happened. One couldn't make it, and the other one, I had to. They kind of backed out at the last minute. So, and it was something that they had to go do. It's nothing that because they didn't want to do the film, but this next film here that we're shooting, it's. I think it was so important that this should come out because, when we talk about CE3, this movie is not just going to be about CE3. It's going to be about CE2s and 3s together because
That's
it's going to make sense, man. It's going to make sense after this whole thing is put together. Now, by the time I'm done with editing and everything, it'll probably won't be out till November, December, but still, just the interviews and everything that I did on the trip. My God, it was 3,000. I think I just looked at my odometer. It was 3,800 freaking miles, man. That we traveled. We went to San Antonio. Ryan Keaton went to go see him.
Yeah.
We went to East Texas. We went to go see Mr. Robert Bowe right there on the bottom, second to the right. So those are the two from Texas that we went to go see. And then we came home for a week, right? And then, we were going to go do something else, but that got canceled. Things happen, man. Things happen. But then we ended up going back the following week. So we took off to Arkansas. We went straight to Arkansas. It took us about a day and a half to get there, only because, we left so late. My son, Jacob, went with me this time. Donald Jr. Couldn't go this time. He had other engagements to do, but I mean, Jacob really helped a lot with camera B, sound, everything, setting up grip, everything. He was able to help me. It was a skeleton crew. It's just one of those things. Regina Palmer right there at the very bottom left. Amazing person. Jameson next to her. I mean, he gave incredible stories, and then Mr. Anibal and Jody and, William there on the right and the middle. I couldn't say how much it's hard for me to say that all these people are wonderful human beings and souls. You know what I mean? They just, they gave it their all when it was in front of the camera. And, I want people to know that because it wasn't easy for any of these folks to do this. And you and I had talked to these folks, Terry, probably 6 months in advance, way before this, while we were setting everything up. And it was just hard for them to say, okay, I'll do it, or maybe let me think about it. A couple of them took a couple of days or maybe a week or two, and they said, let me think about it. And I was like, okay, take your time. I heard your stories, and then after everybody was on board, they just started sending me all their videos, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, as a part of that, and that's just the strange thing about it, that their stories are just amazing, and they're different but the same, like yours, Terry, the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we threw it on film. We just threw it on film. So it's just go ahead, Terry.
Oh, for me, is what I'm looking at here is the lineup. Some of the people that you brought forth in this one. I'm going to start right off with Mr. William DeMont, correct?
Yes.
He's somebody I've followed for quite some time through extraterrestrials and strange sightings, which is also where I met Hannibal and Jody Gordon and Tino Gallegos. Now he was putting things forward. I don't know if he realized that there was somebody paying attention literally to the things that he was showing, but he was showing fleets of things that were coming in from the sky. The bottoms of these craft, the video and the pictures that he was showing me 2-3 years ago resembled like the Roslyn Rock, and that there was a crop circle over in England that had the exact emblem as what's on the Roslyn Rock. Well, you could see this on the bottom of these craft, and it kind of lets you know that he just showed you a whole fleet of these things. I honestly don't know if this is inside of our documentary. If it is, that's great. But if it's not, that's fine too. This guy's somebody you want to follow, you want to learn about more of. Now, I got to tell you that my heart, man, I can't believe you went and saw Hannibal Quiones.
Oh yeah,
he is to me, he's the most respected ufologist there is in the whole world. This guy taught me more than most anybody in ufology. Now Tino Gallegos, I gotta say, he showed me all the really low stuff, how things work really low. But I spent hours, and I mean hours, just sitting on my phone with Hannibal Quiones, examining rocket launches, volcanoes, and things like this. We spent hours on this, man. We saw so many things together, but before all of that, he taught me how to see the things that are really high up. He taught me that things are always there, and he taught me how to analyze. I mean, he taught me how to use infrareds, and he taught me how to use the best go-to for anybody. If you just want to see something moving, you don't have to have all the fancy stuff. Just go to the negative, and that's what he taught me. He said to keep it simple. He always told me, try and keep it as simple and as natural as possible. These things are calling you. You're not looking for them. They're calling you to come out and see them. And
he was so humble, man. I mean, when we get,
wow.
I swear, man, when we drove to, we went to go see, and even Mr. William, he was a sweetheart, man. But when after William, we went straight up to Colorado Springs, right? And then, which was a hell of a drive. And then we turned around after the next day, after we did his that evening. The next morning we took off. We went to Pueblo, which is about, I think 60 or 70 miles from Colorado Springs, going south. So we went down, and that's when we met. We went to Pueblo, and he lives in the outskirts, man. Like outskirts, there's a nice little community out there of homes and stuff like that, and it's beautiful out there. But it's pretty open area where he can see the skies, and the mountains are right behind him, man. I mean, what better view can you ask for? But I swear to God, as soon as we get there, he comes out of the front door, and I mean, he already has his arms open. You know what I mean? For me to give him a hug, and he was, he shook his hand, and he was like, "Man, I'm so happy you're here." And I just felt the embrace and the love that came off of him. I
wish I would have been there for the hug, man.
Yeah, man.
I really wish I would have.
He's got a great aura, and after our interview, I gave him one of our videos, which I'm going to show here in a minute.
Right on.
And I say, hey, check this out, man. Can you analyze this? He goes, well, sit down right here. Send it to me real quick. So I sent it to him. Within 10 minutes, man, or 5-10 minutes, he already started analyzing the video. Now, mind you, guys out here in audio land and video land, Anibal's an amazing analyst when it comes to UFO, ufology, spectrum, and supernatural spectrum. He catches all kinds of energy, things like that, with software that he uses now. And he does an amazing job because he catches in 3, 4, 5 different spectrums, things that you can't see with the naked eye. He's able to see these things, right? And show it to you. He goes, look, this is what you're missing. This is what you're not seeing. So anyway, after, I showed it to him, I said, let me know if that's a real UFO, right? And he sat down, he was looking at it, he zoomed in on it, he goes, yep, that's a UFO. Check it out. And he started showing me the heat sources, the electronic
EMF and everything.
fields, everything, and that was the footage I caught with Mr. Ryan Keaton at the bottom right of that photo with Ryan. That evening after we did the interview, that night we went out there to San Antonio and shot this video, right? So, and I'm going to show you guys, if you guys are watching, you're more than welcome to comment, because we're live right now. You can comment on anything, and we'll talk to you about anything. But I am going to show you guys the video real quick. Please excuse it because my iPhone was kind of going. I did it on the iPhone, so it was kind of going in and out. You know how it just sucks at night. They can't produce a really good image in the evening. So I'm going to show it to you guys. This is outside of San Antonio, west side of San Antonio. Mr. Ryan Keaton is catching these every single day. Now, mind you, before I play this video, so it was still, the sun was going down. It was the evening. The sky was turning orange. And he goes, man, they're usually out by now. They're usually out. And sun started going down. I goes, don't worry, brother. You're good, man. And he's like, man, I want these things to come out. I go, you're stressing a little bit. I said, I'll tell you what. Because we're talking with him with the cameras and everything, 2 cameras on him. It was a live outside shot, and I told him, I said, you know what? Let me and Jacob walk away from you for a minute. Why don't you sit there and you concentrate and see if they listen to you, right? So we did that. Lo and behold, within 10 minutes or 5 minutes after we walked away from him, he turned and goes, check it out, it's right there. So we pull out our cameras and iPhones and everything and started shooting, right? So, and that's what we were doing, man, because I was like, man, we got to get this. We got to get this on camera. So I did, right? And I'm going to show you guys. This is what we got. So here we go.
Right on.
Nothing.
Yep. And then we're seeing those.
2 of them. Now let's watch them do their dance.
Some focus here.
The try dance. Watch, he's gonna go right directly underneath the other one. I'm pretty sure I've seen him do something like this before, and a third one had popped in out of nowhere too.
I mean, they're literally right over each other.
Mm-hmm. They're right next to each other.
I can see them on camera. They're on top of each other.
They're on top of each other.
That ain't no damn drone. They're glowing. You can see they're going all the way around them.
Yeah.
They're throwing off an EMF all the way around them.
They're not even trying to hide anything.
But why there? That's my thing.
Man, I wish I had answered that because I would feel a lot better.
Now they're fizzing out.
They're moving.
They're fizzing out. There we go.
No, they'll be all right. They're gonna keep going.
I saw one movie disappear.
I'm sure there's an airplane coming. See, he's gonna get bright again.
So that was just a minute or a minute and a half of one video, right? On another video that I'm going to show on, not tonight, but on the actual movie, that when you see those two, they look like stars, but at the very beginning of the video, we look at his phone. He's got this phone app that he pays for to see if there's any aircraft in the area or flying nearby, anything like that, so we don't mistake it for an aircraft. And he pays a lot of money for that app. I don't know what it's called, but he says, look, man, that's not a freaking airplane. And it's literally right in front of us, right? But in the other video that we have, one of those lights shoots over to the left, right? Shoots over to the left. And, it starts going this way, right? It's just shooting, and it stops, right? And then it goes up a little bit, and then it shoots a freaking bright light at us, like for maybe 8 to 10 seconds. It does that to us. And we're like, whoa, what the freak is going on there? You know what I mean? And then we started telling it, thank you. We were saying, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know? And Ryan he was like, man, I told you. He was excited. We were all excited. Mind you, my son, Jacob, he was with me. He's 14. He'd never seen anything like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
He sees it on more of it now.
Yeah. Well, but I'm going to unfold a story that's going to go with what we just talked about. Okay. So even Jacob was like, wow, what is that, Dad? And I said, just keep your camera on it, man. And so we were trying to shoot it with the professional cameras. Unfortunately, my lenses don't do very well at night. So I had to pick up my cell phone and just start shooting it with the cell phone. Right. So it lasted a while there. We were just seeing them come in and out and come in and out. We knew it wasn't a helicopter. We knew it wasn't an airplane. And it just kept hovering over that area, and they would be right on top of each other in perfect line with each other. And, you know, even Jacob was like, man, Dad, I can't believe what we're seeing here. And I told him, I said, just watch what you're seeing, because I don't think you're going to see this again, you know? And let me tell you how I felt, right? I have seen UFOs before. I have witnessed them before in New Mexico. I've witnessed them here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I witnessed them, you know, while I was driving as a truck driver. And but those are the moments to where you see a craft, right? And it just happens in front of you. It just happens to be in front of you at that time. Right. And then it's gone. Right. It all happens. It happens to all of us. I guarantee you about 90% of it happens to all of us like that. But this is the different thing about this sighting that's different for me. I had never seen anyone sit there, concentrate, and bring one of these crafts in front of us. Right. And that's what happened here. That's exactly what happened here. Yeah, and I was blown away, brother. I was blown away because of that. Not just because I've never seen him before. We've seen him on videos, whatever. But actually standing there, watching it, filming it with my hand, and then thinking in my mind, I'm like, man, he just pretty much summoned this UFO so it can be seen. And then on top of that, it dims out, and then it shoots out a bright light at us. Right? What does that, man? Saying, hey, yeah, it's just saying, hey, we see you. It's pretty much whatever was driving that pilot, whatever it's connected with Ryan somehow.
Yeah, I think you guys experienced a CE5. This is what Dr. Greer charges so much money for. Yeah. What you went and experienced on that evening. I have you know what? This is funny. I've analyzed what you're showing tonight a couple of times while you were out, and did not realize that's what you guys had videoed. I had no idea that's what it was. It was up on the ASDP site, and all of our ufologists were kicking it around, taking a look at it, going, wow, this is amazing. You know, and none of us had any idea where it even came from, because there was no caption, it was just, I think there was a thing that said, what do you guys think of this? Yeah. And we had all been looking at it for, now I realize the entire time you've been gone. so all of us, you kind of got me at a loss here. This is, as I was sitting there looking at it going, wait a minute, okay, I've been looking at that all week. You know, we've all been looking at that, and as Alien Strand Disclosure Project, as a ufologist, and you kind of handed it down to us, and every single one of us came to the same conclusion that it was very real. That is amazing. I didn't realize you were there on that. We didn't hear any audio. That's part of what it was, and I didn't realize you were in the background with that. That's pretty amazing, man. I had no idea that's what that was.
Now listen to this. This is going to blow you away as well. Okay. So after that encounter, we left to probably about 9:30 that evening. We went back to my daughter's house. We're staying there in San Antonio. And then the next morning, the next day, we were out and about, and then and Jacob starts telling me, "Hey, Dad, my ears are starting to ring." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "My ears are starting to ring. I've never had that before."
Mm-hmm.
And so it had happened a couple of times while we were driving, and even like a couple of days later, like I was in the shower in the hotel room, and he knocks on the door, boo boo, "Hey, Dad," I'm like, "My ears are ringing now." I'm like, well, I said, well, they know we're here.
D1 sharp, D1 sharp by chance.
It's that high pitch that.
Right.
Like, you know how they used to say back in the day, somebody ears ringing, somebody's talking about you, but you know, he had never got it before ever until seeing that craft. So I believe that he's probably going to be connected now.
Yeah, I think he's tuned in.
Yeah,
I still have. I think I mentioned that to you before that when I start feeling like inside of both my ears they feel like they're tickling. Right. Actually, for me, I don't hear really good high pitched noises, but I do understand that, you know, I put out a hypothesis on D1 sharp, which puts out that perfect little, almost like throwing a rock in a pond type thing. It puts out the ripples on water. Right. But I notice that when I start feeling this tickle inside of my ears, if I go outside, I'll see stuff moving around the sky. It's kind of a weird thing. I noticed that, which is odd because nobody should be getting up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, but I do almost all the time. And so what I'll do is I try and stretch out what's hurting on me, and I'll go outside and I'll stand in my driveway, which just happens to be facing Paulina Peak. Right. So I get to see anything that's moving over the top of that just simply by stepping out of my house.
Yeah, man. And it was just, it's crazy how it just, all these people, as well as yourself, are in tune with whatever is flying above our skies, you know, and it just, all it took was having that one encounter, you know, to like, okay, you see Miss Jody Brown there on the very top right on the photo. Mm-hmm. Her story is almost similar to yours because she did not have any. She wasn't interested in UFOs, ufology, anything like that until these freaking orbs started showing up in front of her house. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that you see on camera. I'm not talking about the ones that you see in the little balls of light or whatever that you catch on film every once. No, this is a freaking orb, a size of a freaking Volkswagen, small Volkswagen showing up in front of her house with a bright orange light or a white light, or she says it looked holographic almost. And you could it's
almost surreal.
Yeah,
it's surreal.
You could see the energy inside of these things.
Right.
You know, of course, she's going to explain a lot of that on the film. There's a lot of stories that they're told in the film. Each and every one of these contestants, these people that are on there, you know, they're guests that were on there because, like I told you, they did. It was hard for them to be on camera. It's hard for them to tell a story, and then to have those stigmas of, you know, people all over their, you know, place thinking that you're crazy kind of stuff, you know. And I threw out a couple of videos, you know, out there while we were traveling, telling folks these people are not crazy. I sat there and talked with them for a few hours, you know, you know, and they're all, every single one of these people are highly intelligent as well. You know what I mean? They know things, you know. Jody started reading books, started going through, you know, watching videos on science and mathematics and stuff like that so she can understand it. And she even told me, she goes, man, and now that I know this stuff, people look at me like I'm a freak or something like that. You know?
Exactly. I understand that.
Yeah. That's why I told you her story and your story are almost identical, except for hers is different because she didn't have eye-to-eye contact with an alien. She was in almost 2 to 3 feet in front of this huge orb that was the size of a small Volkswagen. And we have that on video as well. So it's not crap. It is not bull crap. everything that these people that they go through and they're on their daily lives, and the good, the bad, and even the ugly, all the stuff that's happened in their lives. It's going to be shown on this film because they need to be heard. Every single one of these people, especially in you too, your story too. We brought out a little bit of it in the first movie, the middle, and now we're going to be throwing it out even more in depth in the second.
Right movie. On. Yeah, this will be a good way to actually see and feel the stories of each of these individuals. Hey, I've got a shameless thing that I like to do every time we do a podcast. I think you already know what it is. I see you starting to smile. I have become a firm believer in Nikon products. Nikon, pay attention to me, okay? I'm telling you right now, I am ASDP ufologist Terry Lynch, and I am Nikon. All right? I want to make sure everybody knows that I am Nikon.
Right on. Oh. Yeah,
I love my Nikon.
He is Nikon. He is Nikon. Do that again. I want people to see that. Do that again.
You want to see that? Okay, I'll do it again. Here we go. Ready?
Right on. There he is, Mr. Nikon. That's a great camera, by the way.
Yeah,
that is a great camera.
I love everything that I have that's Nikon. I currently carry I'm going to start from smallest to largest. I carry a P80. I also carry a P500 Nikon. I also carry a D3200 Nikon with several different lenses. And eventually we'll see what else I'll be carrying in the future. A lot of this has to do with you, Nikon. Remember I said that.
Yeah. So right now we're live on Facebook, Alien Strand. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're live on Twitter too. We're throwing a live feed out there. Please subscribe to our channels there, and we really appreciate it because we're going to be throwing out a lot more information, not just because of this movie, but about ufology. Because ASDP, Alien Strand Disclosure Project, is about citizen ufologists. We're not connected with any governments. We're not connected with any law enforcement. We're not connected with anything like that. We are citizen ufologists finding the answers to the truth of what's out there ourselves, and going and digging and talking to folks. A lot of times folks just wait for somebody to come to you, but we're actually pushing and digging by pulling these documentaries out and all the analyzations and ASDP are groups out there on Facebook. It's a private group. You can join that if you want to. We'll be glad to have you. If you want to learn ufology, we'll be glad to teach you. But we do this because we love what we're doing. And Terry, found this page. He wanted to put this together, talk to me. And I said, let's do it, brother. And here we are. It's almost 6 months already. We're into it. We have we have a website, asdpufo.com. We have people that are there to answer your phone calls, man. If you have a UFO, you see one, it's even supernatural. It's not just UFOs. It's supernatural.
Yeah, it's not just UFOs.
Bigfoot, anything, cryptids, anything that you see out there that you don't understand what you're seeing, you can always call one of us. Our cell phone numbers are on there. Our email numbers are on there, and we'll analyze stuff. We'll talk to you about it.
We have people all around the world.
Right. Australia, the United Kingdom, everywhere,
There's people in Africa, Southern Africa, Northern Africa. We got people in Pakistan. It's amazing how much this is growing, how fast it's happening. These are people, every one of these people that are involved have all seen, they're all witness to things, and they've shared it, and they've shown that they're that they have a better understanding. When you have somebody that actually has an understanding of what's going on, that can kind of surpass some of the larger educations in the whole world. Right. If you have somebody that can actually sit with you and you can actually hold that conversation and not be looking at them like they're trying to pull something over your eyes, or because you can tell when somebody else has seen the things that we've seen. They can actually show you. They can show you, and you can verify it pretty much yourself. Mm-hmm. You learn from these individuals. It doesn't matter how far they went in school. Okay,
Right.
a person becomes a ufologist the moment they learn how to do this, not because they excelled anywhere else in life, man. They saw something, they witnessed it, they're sharing it, and they're making sure that disclosure is what happens because of what they had seen.
Right.
A lot of people bottle up when they see something like this because it'll scare you. Some people go way out over the edge on some of this, and others try and turn it into something that the rest of the world should know. And that's where we are. We're the messengers here.
That's right. And if you want to join ASDP, anyone can be a representative of ASDP. Just give me a call or an email. Send me an email. You want to be a part of whatever part of the country you're in, or in a different country other than the United States. If you're a different, you want to represent ASDP, and be a part of our team. ASDP is we're going to be global, man. We're going global. So, and we want to make sure that people understand what we are trying to do here. And all it is the truth and disclosure. And we are citizen ufologists, and Terry, what's your favorite thing that you'd like to say about that?
Oh, about people learning these when you realize what's around you all the time. And that times that you're sitting there feeling like somebody's watching you. I'm not trying to make you eerie out here, but there's times where you sit there and you feel like somebody's watching. You're looking around. There's no look up. Something might be actually watching you. Learn that we're not alone, and that they're always here. This is something that's very ancient, and this is. It's not. I don't think it's something that we should fear. I think it's something that we need to learn how to embrace. Each of us. There's a lot of people that look at it like it's evil. There's a lot of people that look like it's just the best thing in the world. They call them angels. Some
Right.
people call them demons. You got so many people, so many different directions on this. Why don't you put your mind to it? You look at it, you research it. Come to ASDP Ufology, take a look at what we've got. If you like what we've got and you like what we're doing, go to our website. Eventually, here we're going to have a way to be able to help fund our website and help
Yes.
fund our research and things like that. We're going to. I'm not exactly sure how this part works. That's Mr. Ledesma's part, but we're going to come up with a way to where a person can become a contributor to ASDP and help us to where we can fund research. Say there's a gentleman in Australia that needs fuel money to go out to go take a report out in the middle of the bush, wherever somebody had seen something, and then we can actually pay that guy's fuel expenses, and he can have a lunch, maybe take the person to lunch that's reporting. As when nobody's getting rich here, this right here is just going to help fuel ASDP, pay for our website, help pay for shirts for members.
Right.
Members will probably eventually start getting shirts that say ASDP ufologist, depending on, actually they'll probably get that kind of shirt if they are an ASDP ufologist. However, you can get a ASDP member shirt, and you can get a shirt that states that you are a contributor to ASDP at some point. Once this all starts to move the correct way, there'll be fees, there'll be things like that set up so you can do this if you want to. There's no charge to be a member to this. However, it really would help for disclosure if we had a way to fuel the fund, so people can go out and do the reports, and people can pay for different types of equipment if needed for their location. Sometimes we have people that decide they want to donate equipment, which is also okay. Equipment can be donated to different ufologists throughout the world. That's another thing we could be doing.
Yes.
Mr. Anibal Quiones was, for me, he donated me this right here. This is a Luna night vision infrared. He donated that to me so I could continue my work. Okay. So if somebody out there that just happens to be watching that really doesn't want to go out and do what we're doing, but is extremely interested in what we're doing, and they happen to have some equipment that they're not using, you can send it on to onto a ufologist that can use it, and you can send it to one in your area. So that's another thing. So you're not like trying to ship it overseas or anything like that. You can send it to somebody, say like we've got a whole bunch of people down on the Isle of Wight in England. They've got a great view of the English Channel. They're looking over at Spain. They're looking at France. They see craft going over all the time. I'm going to go ahead and name out the guy who kind of spearheads this. The guy's name is Dave Monday. He's also a witness, actually a famous witness in England, as well as several other people that were on the train with him when the craft came over the top of him. You'll have to see Mr. Dave Monday's story to get the rest.
Well, I want to make an announcement now that we're here. So we are still shooting this movie. We still got another 2 weeks of maybe another week of interviews that we still got to finish before this starts going. Yeah, I can actually start going into production with this, but I'm missing one very important person in this one. But I need to get them on before I can start editing. This is going to be going. Once it starts going, it's going to probably go quickly. I already know, but. After this film, there is going to be another one, okay, that we are in the works right now, which is going to be part 3, okay? There's going to be a part 3 to this, and it has a lot to do with. You got to remember everything that we're doing here. It's all part of the middle, right? The middle is the whole thing of it, because everything starts right there. And like Terry says, we are in the middle, right? Because there's some below, some above us, and we are in the middle.
We're in the middle.
So what we did with the first one, we showed you the geoglyphs. What we're doing in the second one, we're showing you the human factor of the emotions, the feelings, the trauma that some might grab, right? That some folks get, some don't. The third one now, it's going to go down the line, right? So the third one, I almost hate to say it, but we are going to. Terry's kind of he kind of. If you've been watching our podcast, he kind of been telling you little bits as he's been
little bits here and there. Yep.
So we are going into cattle mutilations, right? So we're going to be doing that. It's not going to be your typical cattle mutilation, where it's just going to be mutilation, where it's just going to be, one here, one there, okay, story gone. Mm-hmm. No, this goes deeper. It goes a lot deeper than you think it does. Now, I know Miss Linda Howell's the one that brought this to the table in the 1980s, and she did a great job putting it out there.
I love her work. Yeah, I love her work.
But the thing is, they haven't really seen anything since then. I think one was in 2004. But the one after we start shooting this next one, we're going to be done with C3 here in a week, and then we're going to head back to Oregon. We'll start shooting the one for the cattle mutilation, okay? So this is going to be so much deeper because it's not just one, it's not just two. There's over 100. Over 100.
That's exactly right. The investigator over in Crook County, Oregon, him and I are going to be working together on what's going on out in this location. The local news has only reported 6 of what's taken place out there, but this has been going on for a very long time. To the extent where there's over 100 reports to Crook County. I'm going to be working with Crook County on this. I am going to go try and talk with the ranchers up in this location. I've been fortunate enough to where I've been, getting my gear together. I got my recorders. I've got my GoPros. I've got my. Did I say I use Nikon by chance? Yes. Anyway, I've got a few Nikons, and I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna interview these folks, try and get the best stories I can from each one. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go out there with my team, Oregon Ufology Research, and I'm inviting Mr. Michael Beavers up from over the valley side. He's a very well known ufologist over UFOs over U of O. He's got let's see, what is his show called?
It's Mike Beavers, I believe. It's The Theory with Mike Beavers.
The Theory, that's it. And Mr. Mike Beavers, if I remember correctly, has been your back voice on a lot of your shows in the beginning. He's one hell of a good guy, and the guy pays very close attention to detail. He's very well spoken. He understands what we're going to be doing and the importance of what we're going to be doing. So I feel that he's going to be a very valuable person to be part of the ASDP team, and I consider him a colleague in this. I consider this guy an equal complete. He's a really good ufologist.
He's actually a part of ASDP. He's an actual representative. Sir. He's a representative of ASDP. Of course, I'm heading up there because I want to be there to film this. These. It's going to be a hard thing to do because I just came back from a 3,800 mile trip to film folks, and I'm still not done. I still got about a week left to go, and then we're going to come home, rest for about 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then head back to Oregon. So this has a lot to do with disclosure, man, because we want to know why, and we want to know why this is happening, right? Because we always get the story of, okay, well, this happened to these cows, and we don't know exactly what happened, but the tongues are cut out and the anuses are cut out, right? And so, people see it as a joke sometimes, like, oh, the anus, but in reality, it happens to, and they're laser precision cuts.
Precision, yeah. The sexual organs are removed from on the inside as well, surgically. Right. Along the jawline, there's when the tongue is cut out, there's other, like the gland. There's quite a few other things. What I don't want to do is I don't want to give everything that takes place away until we do the documentary. That way, when we go up there, there's not somebody out there trying to do this.
Right.
I don't. First off, it's no joke to these people out there. Every one of those, every cattle, every cow, every bull, every steer that they have out there, this is their livelihood. So when something like this takes place, it takes about anywhere from $2,500 to $4,500 away from them that they were expecting to have to make their ranch succeed. So when something like this takes place, this is actually a really big loss to them, because now it's completely wasted, it's contaminated. Nobody's going to eat it. Nobody's going to use it for anything, and now you've got this person that was really depending on that money to make their next year go. So the reason I'm going out there, I've got a couple reasons. One is for the production of the metal, and the second one is I want to try and get some answers for these folks, some answers that they can live with. Because right now the sheriff's department. I'll go ahead and name the gentleman. We have to get more permission to show him. The gentleman that I'll be working with is an investigator with the sheriff's department. His name is Chris Beard, and he's let me know that this is really putting a hardship on these folks that live along this stretch. Now, if you follow this dirt road that goes all the way out, it puts you on a cross point to an area called Lake County. And the other side there, it's not that they're not as willing to cooperate. They're just too busy. They got a really vast area, and they don't have time. Well, and that's Bureau of Land Management over there. They've got the same issue going right at the edge of where this other stuff is taking place over into this Crook County area. So.
Well, I'm sure the ranchers are seeing something in the sky. I know they have to have seen something, man. I'm
seeing it myself. So I made it a point. Remember, I mentioned that I'm up at 2:00, 3:00 in the morning, almost all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it was about 3 weeks ago, I think I'd made a post about it, and I had stated that I had seen the craft at 3 o'clock in the morning. It went directly up over the top of Paulina Peak, and then it was glowing bright as like a kind of like a fire in a fireplace or a campfire. Okay, a fire. It looked like that, and then it glows real bright. Now this is up way over the top of Paulina Peak, and it makes its way over to a place we call Finley Butte here, which is just south of Paulina Peak. Now it went over to Finley Butte, and it toned down, and then it came back up real big, and then it went up real high over the top of Finley Butte and took off east over like Fort Rock, Hole in the Ground, Fort Rock, and then out towards like Crack in the Ground out Christmas Valley of Oregon. Right. And that's the Oregon Outback. So there's not really many people out there. This is also a location where there's a lot of cattle. I went ahead and I contacted I contacted Bureau of Land Management Enforcement, and I talked with them and asked them if they had any incidents. He asked me, first off, he was curious to why I was asking him that, and then I explained who I was and told him, basically what I said, if you Google me, give me a call back in a couple of minutes. And he did. That's what he did. Then he said, okay, I understand where you're coming from now. So he Googled me, and then he gave me straight answers after that. Before that, he wasn't giving me straight answers. After he found out who the hell I was, he started giving me straight answers and realized I'm on his side. And the more he tells me, the better it is for their discovery, because I actually have better footage than they have. I know what to look for. I know where to shoot it.
I'll be talking to what'd you say his name was? Mr. Beard? What's his name?
He's the investigator's name is Chris Beard with Crook County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, I'll be talking to him and getting all the everything that we need. But we don't want to give too much away. But there's a lot of things happening out there. And that's going to be our next endeavor after we finish this next film. Now, mind you, films do take a long time to produce. Okay, to get ready, to edit. Of course, CE3. This is going to be a 3-part series only because it's going to go over a 2-hour mark. So I wanted just to kind of break them down into 40-minute segments. Okay, so that's why we're getting three sections of CE3 at 40-minute segments, because the people that are on there, they're telling their stories. So I wanted to get in depth, of what you're seeing within that amount of time in each one of those. So just kind of everybody be prepared for that. We are on the go, man. It's a nonstop. Only reason because we're just trying to get the disclosure out there the best that we can, and with Mr. Terry Lynch and everybody with ASTP that's on board, that just wants to help, and if you know anybody or anything about what we're talking about and want to put them towards us, tell them to call us or an instant message. We'll be glad to talk to anybody that's been having any kind of CE3s or CE4, CE5s, anything like that, or even with the cattle mutilations, anything like that, man. You can always give us a call or one of the representatives of ASTP. But I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. We're hitting our end of our mark here. The next 2 minutes we'll be out. I just want to thank everybody for that was on this film, that's going to be on this film. They were so humble. Everybody was so humble. They were giving me drinks, they wanted to feed us, things like that. It was just because, they're good people, man. They're just good people, just like you and I, and they're normal human beings. And they wanted to tell their stories of things that were happening after they make contact. So, and that's exactly what this film is going to be about. Now, you might see some knockoffs of my movie or our movie out there that they're going to try to mimic it, but there is nothing going to compare to the way I'm going to put it out there and present it to you guys, because I know what I'm doing. I know what I saw. I know what these people are seeing, and I'm going to visualize it the best way I can for you guys so you can understand. And you can understand their emotions too, because that's what I do in my film, and the way I produce. So we're going to make sure that we get this right. So when you guys see it out there, it's going to be something that you guys are going to really enjoy and learn, right?
I want to put something else out there. You're a former police officer, so you actually know how to perform an investigation. You know how to get the information you need to get the correct information. You know how to conduct an investigation. My one of the things I like about this is I constantly shoot to Mr. Donald Ledesma for advice on how to perform my investigations when I do an investigation, and he's teaching other people how to do an investigation and show people what questions to ask, how to ask them, and this is what ASDP is going to be based on, is how a police officer would perform an investigation. So think about that when you want to report to us, that there's going to be somebody out there that's actually have some skill and they understand. And if they don't know the answer, they're going to contact Mr. Ledesma, or they're going to contact myself, or they're going to contact Anna Quiones, or somebody, depending on what the question is. However, you're gonna find the answers that you're looking for, and we've got the right people for that, whatever the situation. So think about that.
Thank you for that, Terry. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
But so if you guys are liking this podcast today, I know we rambled a little bit longer than we should have, but hey, that's what me and Terry do. We love doing it. We love talking about it.
We go another hour if we had to.
Mind you, I know, right? I'm going to throw this out to you guys. We are going to be on another podcast, and it's going to be a very popular podcast in Canada, I believe. Another one. So it's called UAP Studies Podcast. That's going to be on the 31st or the 30th, something like
30th.
That. On the 30th,
I believe it's the 30th.
Yeah, so
I know that they've got an extremely large following.
Yeah. So they got a huge following, and we're going to be on that podcast. So, if you guys like the way, we explain things and talk about, not just our films, but about ufology in itself and about everybody that's out there, and how we're so positive on just trying to get the word out. We are going to be on that podcast. Don't forget, watch us on that podcast, and that's going to be on the 30th. It's called UAP Studies Podcast, and thank you guys, and thank them for allowing us to get on board. Any closing things you want to say, Terry, before we close out?
Yeah, everybody who wants to see what the Cascadia Guides look like, go to Google Maps, hit the little castle on top of Polina Peak, and you're going to see exactly what the Cascadia Guides look like. You're going to see all of us up there working on the film, and you're going to see the Trident, you're going to see the guides, you're going to see my team, you're going to see Donald's team. Hey, bless everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I can't wait to be on our next big podcast, and I'm looking forward to more right here on Alien Strand Podcast. If you're watching Alien Strand Podcast, I'm ufologist Terry Lynch. We'll see you later.
Right on, brother. We'll talk to you here in a bit. All right, guys, you heard it from the man himself, Mr. Terry Lynch. So, just thank you guys for just listening to me and listening to the stories, because, man, what happened to us out there while we were filming was I just couldn't get it off my mind. I said, you know what? I have to tell everybody out there what happened to me and my son, when we were out there filming. It's just, and I'm so grateful that he was with me, because those are moments that you can't take away, right? And I just want him to be a part of it, just like my other son was part of the first one. And I'm glad he was with me as well. It was just, it's a father and son bonding moment, and I think everybody should do that. I do really think everybody should do that, in a sense. Even with a mother and son, it doesn't matter, man. Just bond, and doing things like that together, you help talk, you get to bond with each other. And that's what it's about. But I just wanted to get it off my chest, show you guys what we saw, and I'm glad you guys were able to see it. You're going to see a lot more in the movie. There's going to be a lot of footage, man, on this CE3 movie. Okay, be prepared for that. So until then, don't forget to share this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Don't forget to hit a like on all the things that we do here on Alien Strand Podcast and ASDP. Got to report a UFO? Look down there. You see that? See the ticker? Report it. ASDPUFO.com. We got a lot of people there for you. Okay? Willing to help you out. But until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. Have yourselves good night.
Executives, Coastal Bend, and Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're listening to the Alien Strand podcast with Donald Ledesma. Buying or selling, visit me at kellygreenrealtor.com or visit me on my Facebook page, Kelly Green Realtor. See you there.